So sometimes there's moves that really make you kind of go, what? What? And this is one that kind of really makes me go, what? Because Activision, mind you, they don't reference Blizzard in this article at all from Game Informer. And of course, their parent company now, which is Microsoft Xbox, have opened a new game studio after shutting four down last week. So let's get into this article and let's talk a little bit. So if you guys can't tell, the name of this new game studio that Activision slash Microsoft Xbox is looking to open is called Elsewhere. And it's kind of interesting because, like I said, they don't reference Blizzard at all in this. They just say Activision, Activision, Activision. So Xbox Activision opens a new studio to develop narrative-based AAA franchises. I'm surprised they didn't throw the word quadruple A in there. So anyways, let's get into it. Activision, the developer publisher Microsoft and Xbox purchased for $69 billion, which is still to me a mind-boggling amount of money to purchase a company for, has formed a new studio called Elsewhere Entertainment, and it's developing a new narrative-based and genre-defining AAA franchise. Okay. The studio is based in Warsaw, Poland. Continue. And according to reports from IGN, it's not working on a Call of Duty related project yet. I'm going to just throw yet in there. Because, like, I swear to God, every game studio that Activision ever creates or gets their hands on, at the end of the day, they end up creating freaking Call of Duty. The studio, which has been formed behind the scenes before today's public unveiling, arrives roughly 1 week after Xbox closes 4 Bethesda studios. Which, I mean, it's one of those things, right? Because I know Bethesda is like their own entity. They always, Microsoft, Xbox, whatever you want to call the parent company, has always allowed Bethesda to do their own thing. They tell them, hey, have creative freedom, so on and so forth. Which, I guess it makes sense. That's why they let them, shut down those studios to try to do stuff. But to me, it doesn't make sense when you have Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks. Tango Gameworks did a really good job on Hi-Fi Rush, right? Which is different than most of the other games. Where Redfall kind of fell short, which, I mean, I kind of understand why they shut down Arcane Austin, right? While the company has yet to publicly address the closures directly, Xbox president Sarah Bond said in an interview that the closures were about to keep the business healthy in the long term. Truth be told, every time I've ever seen any kind of like interviews with this Sarah Bond lady, the chick that's now the Xbox president, she talks circles. She never actually addresses anything directly and always tries to give you like the PR response. And it really genuinely makes me feel bad because a lot of these people are being affected by these decisions and there's no real rhyme or reason as to why. I mean, like I said, for Redfall, okay, it fell short of the mark, but the Hi-Fi Rush, like, come on. It's why news of this new studio might be surprising given 1 week ago the parent company of Activision was closing the studio to cut costs. And like I said, if you ask Sarah Bond, she's just going to talk circles. Now, I will admit, when it comes down to it, Xbox and Microsoft have to catch up with PlayStation when it comes to like great narrative-driven stories because they have God of War, they have The Last of Us, they have such great titles like that, right? Where Microsoft doesn't have that anymore. Microsoft doesn't have any kind of basically, they don't have any kind of like just anything when it comes to that. Built from the ground up, Elsewhere Entertainment is a premier and standalone studio dedicated to establishing an environment that inspires bold and diverse ideas. A blog post reads, the team's underlying mission encourages everyone to explore and collaborate collectively to craft a franchise with an enduring legacy that resonates far beyond games. Which, to me, a really good like single player experience game, which I don't really get to play that much because I end up playing with my buddies. Those games are amazing. Like you will sit there and you will play. And like I said, the first Last of Us, amazing. Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game. I haven't played the second one or Miles Morales yet. Amazing. Like those kind of games, even God of War. God of War will strike a chord with you because it's just so good. And a game that will like make you cry or invoke feelings. There's something there that's lacking, and it's genuinely like it's sad to see where the gaming sphere is gone. The new studio has full access to Activision's resources and tools as it continues to increase production and development. So right there, like I said, it just tells me it's only going to be a matter of time before they're going to be developing a Call of Duty game. Because if they're saying, Activision's resources are going to be like, yo, we need some money, help us out. Elsewhere is opening its search for the best in-class talent from across the industry and around the world to help create a state-of-the-art and next-generation gaming experience. Which, to me, this is like saying something like that is really good because you really want some of the best people on the project. But the biggest problem is that too many hands in the cookie jar is where you're going to end up like really hurting a game potentially. Elsewhere is currently made up of developers with experience working on franchises like The Last of Us, Uncharted, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, Destiny, Tom Clancy's The Division, and Far Cry, which those are some really good franchises. And on top of that, like some people will be like, "Oh, Cyberpunk was a big old letdown." Well, at the end of the day, they've continued. They did not give up on Cyberpunk. That's the part that like really blows my mind is that they didn't give up on Cyberpunk and they've made it into a good game. Now, like I said, The Last of Us, Uncharted, like those are great narrative driven games. The Witcher, another great narrative driven game. Destiny, garbage game. Garbage game. That's all I gotta say. People can get mad all they want, but it's garbage game. Tom Clancy's The Division, for the most part, it's a really good like looter shooter, if that makes sense. And then Far Cry, usually great single player narrative driven games. We're going full screen. To me, right now, announcing that you're going to be releasing, you're starting a new studio after you shut 4 down last week is not a good look on Microsoft's part. Activision Blizzard, I don't fault them at all. Why? Because they are the baby company in this, basically because they got bought up by Xbox. They got bought up by Microsoft, and they don't really have much of a say. Anyways, you guys, let me know in the comment section how you feel about this. Do you think this could potentially get us some really good single-player narrative-driven games from Microsoft? Or do you think this is a bad decision and that it's going to go the route that I think it's going to go? And within the next 3 to 5 years, this is going to be another Call of Duty cog. Anyways, you guys, mash that like button, subscribe. Every little bit does help out the channel. Y'all have a great and wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.